Okay, welcome back to The Explainer. Today we are diving into a psychological thriller story time so absolutely insane, it's going to have you literally screaming at your screen. Seriously. We're talking mind games, the ultimate betrayal, and a family dynamic so completely toxic it should come with a giant hazard warning. Buckle up, because this is a wild one. So, right off the bat, I want you to picture this. What would you do if you realized your own flesh and blood, your sweet, innocent little daughter, was a literal sociopath? But, oh, here's the massive catch. Your husband constantly gaslights you. He makes you think you're just being paranoid or, just a crazy bad mom. He sees an absolute angel. You see a monster. Who do you trust? Your own eyes or the person who's supposed to love you most?
Well, this exact nightmare brings us to Ashley Audrain's explosive story, The Push. I mean, just look at the cover art for a second. This ink blot Rorschach test design perfectly captures the mind-bending, wait, is this all in her head vibe of the whole plot. Throughout this entire explainer, we are going to be totally trapped inside the main character's head, constantly second-guessing what's real and what's just a manifestation of her own deepest fears.
So, let's meet the family at the center of this absolute disaster. First up is our main character, Blythe. She's stressed, she's anxious, and she is just desperate to be a good mom. Then we've got her husband, Fox. Now, Fox is annoyingly perfect on paper, but in reality, he is completely dismissive of literally everything Blythe feels. And finally, we have their intensely creepy daughter, Violet. And guys, from day one, her vibe is just off. Now, to really understand Blythe's paranoia, we've got to look at her super dark backstory. Blythe is basically haunted by what she calls a mommy curse. Her grandmother, Etta, was terrifyingly abusive, and her mom, Cecilia, literally just walked out on her when she was 11 years old. So Blythe's grown up hearing the women in this family were different. Because of that, she's terrified she's genetically hardwired to be toxic. She thinks she's just fundamentally broken. And that fear, it sets up the core conflict of the whole story, because there is a massive disconnect here. Blythe sees Violet as cold, manipulative, and genuinely dangerous. Violet will literally glare at her, say she hates her, and do these incredibly malicious things. But Fox? Fox completely ignores every single red flag. To him, Violet is just this precious, misunderstood daddy's girl. He constantly undermines Blythe, telling her she's just an anxious mom making a big deal out of nothing. It is so frustrating.
But let's actually look at the timeline here, because this was definitely not just normal kid rebellion. At 3 weeks old, Violet would scream for hours, but only with Blythe. By age 2, she literally bit Blythe's face, drew blood, and then instantly played the victim. And as she gets older, things escalate from creepy to straight up deadly. We are talking about a highly calculated pattern of malice.
Which brings us to the playground incident. Okay, so Blythe is watching Violet stand at the top of this really high slide next to a little boy named Elijah. And Blythe literally watches Violet lift her leg right as the boy runs past. Elijah falls to his death, and Violet just stares down at his body with absolutely zero emotion. Nothing. And Blythe is so traumatized and so conditioned by Fox to doubt herself that she literally looks up at the sky and whispers that did not happen. She tries to convince herself she didn't just watch her daughter trip a kid to his death. And Fox's reaction? Oh my gosh, get ready to be furious. On the walk home, literally right after watching a kid die, Violet casually asks for a treat. She is totally unbothered. When Blythe tries to express how horrified she is, Fox just casually brushes it off. She just needs some time to process, he says. Are you kidding me? His response to his daughter's chilling lack of empathy is to buy her ice cream and tell his wife to calm down. So right when you think things couldn't possibly get more tense, we get a massive mid-story twist. Blythe has a second baby, a little boy named Sam. And finally, for the first time, Blythe experiences true joyful motherhood. Sam loves her, and she loves him. But this new happy bond triggers intense, silent jealousy in Violet. Violet starts just hovering around Sam's crib in the dark. The tension in that house becomes absolutely suffocating.
Which leads us to the most devastating climax of the entire story. Blythe, Violet, and baby Sam in a stroller are walking near a super busy intersection. Suddenly, Violet aggressively yanks Blythe's arm. Scalding hot tea spills all over Blythe's face. And in that one split second of blinding pain, Sam's stroller rolls off the curb and right into speeding traffic.
It's an absolute nightmare, unspeakable tragedy. But there is one specific detail that completely haunts Blythe, a detail she just cannot unsee.
Right before the stroller rolled into the street, Blythe vividly remembers seeing Violet's pink mittens resting right on the stroller handle. A heavy stroller doesn't just bump over a curb all by itself, right? It was pushed. Blythe frantically tells the police and Fox exactly what she saw. She is literally accusing her daughter of murder. And how does Fox react? He completely shuts her down. Blythe, it was an accident, just a terrible accident, he says. He treats her like a hysterical, grieving madwoman. He absolutely refuses to even entertain the thought that his precious daughter could do something so evil. He takes Violet's side and completely ices Blythe out. As you can imagine, the fallout is incredibly messy. The marriage completely crumbles, Fox files for divorce, and honestly, before the ink is even dry on the papers, he immediately shacks up with his young, beautiful office assistant, Gemma. Fox takes Violet to live with him in his shiny new family, leaving Blythe completely isolated, grieving her baby, and forever branded as the crazy ex-wife.
Now, this is the part of the explainer where you're gonna go, wait, what? Because Blythe is not giving up. She finds out Fox's new wife, Gemma, just had a baby boy. And Blythe is terrified Violet is going to strike again. So what does she do? She buys a long brown wig, uses a fake name, and literally stalks Gemma at a new mom support group just to drop a truth bomb about what Violet really is. It is peak desperation, and honestly, kind of iconic.
But yeah, it backfires horribly. Weeks later, Gemma figures out who the weird lady in the wig actually was. She calls Blythe up and delivers this crushing defeat. Gemma has fully bought into Fox's narrative. She tells Blythe coldly, "She didn't push Sam, you made it up." And then she just hangs up the phone. Nobody will listen to her. Her warning is completely ignored. And that brings us to the final, chilling reveal on Christmas Eve. We can actually see how the story sets the scene. Blythe drives over to Fox's house. She's sitting in her freezing car in the snow, clutching this manuscript she wrote detailing her entire side of the story. She's looking through their massive living room window, watching Fox, Gemma, their new baby, and Violet playing the perfect happy family. We have to break down this final scene step by step, because the tension here is unreal. Step 1. Violet notices Blythe's car idling out in the dark. Instantly, Violet drops her sweet, innocent act with her new little half-brother. She stands up, walks right up to the glass, and just stares dead-eyed at her mother sitting out there in the cold. Step 2. The suspense ramps up. Violet lunges forward. She aggressively presses both of her hands flat against the window pane, almost like she's trying to break through the glass to get to Blythe. Her chest is heaving. She knows exactly what she's doing. Step 3. Violet looks right into the eyes of the mother that nobody ever believed, the mother who lost literally everything. And silently, right through the glass, Violet mouths a confession. Violet mouths the words, "I pushed him. I pushed him." You guys, my jaw was absolutely on the floor. This massive ending reveal changes literally everything. Blythe was never crazy. Her generational trauma didn't make her imagine things. Violet is, in fact, a total psychopath. And the ultimate irony here. Now Fox is trapped in a house with her and a brand new baby, totally oblivious, while Blythe finally gets her twisted validation.
So what is the ultimate takeaway from all this madness? Well, the true horror of this story wasn't actually just the evil child, it was how easily a woman's own history, her generational trauma, her anxiety, could be weaponized against her. It's about how insanely easy it is for a partner to gaslight someone into completely doubting their own reality and their own sanity.
Which leaves us with a major question to wrap things up. I really want to know what you guys think. In this deeply messed up family dynamic, who is the real villain here? Is it Violet, the evil, calculated child who did the unthinkable? Or is it Fox, the gaslighting husband who refused to listen, protected a monster, and made his wife feel like she was losing her mind? Drop your thoughts, debate it out in the comments, and I will see you in the next explainer.